Good work,
Welcome
George.
to Friday. Welcome to Friday Night Party Line. Tonight on the show, we've got George. Hey, George. Oh wait, no, wait, hold on a second. Wait a minute, hold on a second. Hold on a second, guys. I fucked up. This is acceptable vices this week.
You're in the
It
hole.
doesn't matter. I just love spoiling your intros, whatever they are.
That's okay.
Featuring George and his ghastly
featuring
gastrointestinal system.
This is Acceptable Vices. Tonight on the show, the LA Auto Show and other car stuff. Hey everyone, this is Victor Frost, and this is Acceptable Vices. Tonight on the show, we've got George. Hey, George.
Hi, Victor.
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Good. We also got Churba. Hey, Chirps.
Hi.
Hi. Tonight we're going to be talking about the LA Auto Show and other stuff. Like I said in the intro, auf erst, we're going to do this at the beginning because if I don't, I'm going to forget, and I don't want to forget because it's very important. It is important, of course, to thank all of our wonderful Patreon supporters. That includes you, George. Thank you, George.
Woohoo.
So thanks to Dexter Calder, Funeral Cleavage, Rochelle Mantanone, The Geek Nights Podcast, Kate Macross, Brendan Brothers, Gina Moreno, Pinup Citizen, Ethan Fryer, Cold Guy, and for kicking in money into the hat each month. What for making this channel chooch. If you are a Patreon supporter, I just put a post up on the Patreon page today. It's about how Patreon is changing how they do payments, and I'm not very satisfied with it. But we're going to figure it out, even if it means jumping from Patreon to another service, because what they're doing is kind of dumb. But that is for another time. Now we can talk about cars, right, guys?
Wow.
Whoa. That was very excited, George.
I like autos.
We all like autos.
I like autos.
I like trains. So this week is the LA Auto Show. It's actually still going on. And I got to go yesterday. I saw a lot of cars, but overall I was a little less than satisfied with the whole event. It's certainly not as cool as it was last year, unfortunately.
Oh no.
So you were able to get around the fire on the 405?
Yeah, actually I drove past it on the way back. The mountains were still smoking and or smoldering and or on fire. So I couldn't drive with my windows down, but I could get through it. It was better than taking the 5 up.
I'd drive with my windows down anyway because I'm determined and fucking stubborn in all the wrong ways.
Right, but I don't want my
God,
eyes to be
I just
burning from
opened
the
the stream, another window.
So LA Auto Show, a little bit underwhelming this year, and I will share with you why. But first, I'm going to share my screen here
Voiced.
because I've got pictures.
Oh my
How's
god.
that?
That is not a car.
Well, what the fuck's it doing here then? Get it the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
It
this is not
is
a
not a
this is
car.
not a non-car podcast tonight. This is a car podcast.
Get your fucking Hot Wheels out.
Yeah, it's not a.
Get your Hot Wheels out, lads.
It doesn't register as a car. It's actually a 3-wheeler. It's called a... Why is it not letting me just change pictures here? Hang on.
Oh, it's a motorcycle.
Technically,
Oh,
that's how it
wait a minute.
registers as.
Wait a minute, I used to ride a motorcycle.
That doesn't look like a motorcycle, does it? It's called it's a Sondors. It's a 3-wheel electric vehicle. It's got 2 seats in the front and 1 seat in the back. 0 to 16, 5.52. Is that 5?
5
No,
to
yeah,
8 seconds.
5 to 8 seconds. That's very nice.
That's
It's got, yeah,
It's not very quick for a motorcycle.
comfortable range, right there.
yeah, this is not a great thing. So this company, unsurprisingly, started out with electric bicycles. And They decided to move up to a car. They would not let me get into this thing. Well, move up to a three-wheeler. Anyways, that's a Ford GT. But from what I could see through the windows and stuff, it actually looks pretty nice in there. But alas, it is not a car. It is a $10,000 three-wheel vehicle. So the Ford GT picture that I'm showing you guys here, I'm not showing you this picture because of the Ford GT. I'm showing you this picture because, and I only realized this after the fact, but if you can see up there in the corner, it says HoloLens Mixed Reality. So,
yes.
All right.
The name of the
for
game,
all two people who have HoloLens.
right. So what they had was they had a setup in there where you could put on a HoloLens and you can go and walk around and see all the different parts of the GT like exploded out. You can kind of look at it, fiddle with them. The name of the game at the auto show this year seemed to be less about new and exciting cars and more about car manufacturers using VR to
sell you cars.
To sell, well, not even really to sell you cars, because let me tell you about the VR experiences I had at the auto show. The first one that I had was, I didn't even get a chance to get onto the HoloLens thing, but the first VR thing I got to was basically, they had a bunch of Nissans there, kitted out to look like Star Wars cars. Let me see if I can, oh yeah, here's another weirdo three-wheeler. This one is very much less put together.
I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, it was very much less put together than that other one. But
it's going to be the Akimoto, like, semi-enclosed.
No, it's an Emperor. It's what it's called. It's called the Emperor. So Nissan once again came with some Star Wars themed cars. And what they had there was what they had was a VR experience wherein you could repair BB-8.
Can I have a VR experience where I go and beat up the person who broke him?
Well, it looks like it's just sort of general maintenance stuff. You're taking out little cartridge things and putting in new cartridges and whatever. But nothing to do with cars. And then the VR experience that I did after that was driving a Formula One car in a little booth. And then there was a whole bunch of other ones, but the most car-related one I saw was sort of like a VR experience where Volvo could show you their crash prevention and detection system and how it works and stuff. But that was really there wasn't really much about cars. Almost every other booth had some sort of VR thing, but I don't know. It just was kind of lazy to me. So, but let's see. So we got I tossed you guys some links to Jalopnik. There's a second one in there called Let's Walk Through Some of, just to give the show some structure. Because, good God, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot at the show this year. So, they got a new Corvette.
Tesla
new
had a
ZR1.
I'm looking at the ZR1 right now.
Yeah.
Man,
that is not a nice looking car.
It isn't. It really isn't.
It doesn't matter what it looks like. What matters is 750 horsepower.
Yeah, but I can get that in a nicer looking car.
I gotta tell you, George.
You can't, actually.
George, I gotta tell you, at some point, past a certain threshold, it's just a number.
Yeah, no, we passed that number at 500. So now it's whoever can have the biggest number shall be king. And at the moment, yes, that's the Corvette. They have
biggest
now
number.
They now have the biggest number, so they win.
Yeah, it was just, and you know what? Like up close, it looked kind of ugly. I'll be honest. Like Corvettes used to look just cool. But the new ZR1, and now they have a ZR0.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of the C7. It looked all right, but
Yeah.
I mean, the base one looked way too busy, and now the special performance models are getting busier still. It's a bit too much.
Yes. And then yeah, I mean a lot of car manufacturers seem to be going for simplicity, and the ZR1 looks like they just want to stick more fins onto things, you know?
Yeah.
You know, more
that's all right.
I mean, with I guess with like 700 horsepower, you kind of need to put more aerodynamics on it just to keep it on the ground.
It needs some downforce.
Yeah. But
it's also covered in like gamer angles.
Yeah.
The fucking thing looks like a fucking mouse marketed to hardcore gamers.
Looks like there should be a Razer logo on it somewhere.
I like my Razer.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, I've got a Razer mouse right now. It's pretty smooth.
But it's like, you know, I want a Corvette, not a GM Black Adder. Yeah.
Actually, I've got the non-chroma. Actually, no, I've got the Widowmaker now. I used to have a Death Adder.
So this is the car that I thought was really interesting.
Just one last thing about Corvettes,
Yes.
and then we can
Talk to
move
me
on.
about the
It's like,
Corvette,
look,
George.
Corvettes always look bad when they're
No.
Yeah, they do. They always
like
look. They always look. That's too busy. And then 10 years later, we look back at it and we go, you know what? That one looked pretty cool.
I think
This
we
one,
look back at
this
that
one
and
is
just
way
go,
too
what the
busy.
fuck were we thinking?
I like the 90s
People didn't
Corvettes.
like the
They were
C6
cool.
when it came out, and they were like,
I don't like the C6 now.
I don't like the
C5
C6
was way
now.
better. You know what? Now looking at this, I go, you know what? That C6 was pretty good.
I can't agree with you, George. I think the C6 still looks kind of stupid.
I like the C6. It looked good.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the 4 little trumpet exhaust pipes on the back. I get that. Yeah. But I think the quad, I think the dual exhausts on the back of the 90s Corvettes looks better.
Well, now you're talking about C4s.
Yeah. And they just look great. I think it's so cool. I do like the redesign of the Ford GT that they had out this year, the 2018 Ford GT.
The redesign of the 1-year-old car?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's the car that they're currently suing John Cena for selling.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Because it comes with
like
a contract to own it for 3 years or else.
Or else. And he sold it in like a month?
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, not into this.
Not into this. Not my kind of car. I'm a big guy. This is not a car for big guys. He had the Jeremy Clarkson problem, and not the
He's a weird old
problem.
Yorkshire racist who punched his co-worker in the face.
Yeah, that's
actually
not,
no.
not
Come
that
to think,
problem.
it's John Cena. He has punched most of his co-workers in the face.
Yes, but it's socially acceptable for him to punch his co-workers.
At least he didn't throw out a racial slur when he did it.
It is in fact his job to punch.
It's his job to punch his co-workers.
Unless
Unless
he
goes through with running for office. I'd see The Rock and John Cena on a presidential ticket, which feels ridiculous to say, but
I wouldn't, because they're not actually qualified for the job, and
that matters anymore.
have you looked at what happens when you put someone who's not really that qualified for the job of being president in the president's seat?
Yes, acutely. I've seen what happens. There was an interesting concept car there. We can see this coffee maker on wheels, which Jalopnik had an article about not too long ago.
Yeah. I'm not even sure I'd fit in that.
You don't like the coffee maker on wheels, Churba?
I'm not even sure I'd fit in it.
Oh, that's a.
I don't.
There's
know.
the Black Panther Lexus. Red
the Black
space.
Panther Lexus. I took a picture just
Why
because I love the paint
does the
job.
windshield slope in the wrong direction?
Apparently, it's to keep rain off the windshield.
That's not how
What?
water works.
Yeah, I know. I didn't say it was smart. I said it was interesting.
No, it looks more like a
Ran off the
Daihatsu.
windshield. How?
That's what I thought. To me, when I walked up to it, I thought, "Oh, that looks like they're trying to bring like a Daihatsu, K car to the market, to the U.S. market, because they do have the same sort of reversing seat thing, about the reversing in the cabin like the Daihatsu concepts had at the Tokyo Auto Salon a couple of years back, but negative windscreen, backlights, straight sides create a shadow, and stuff. I don't know. It has a rear wing because with like a front fascia like that, a rear wing is really going to help.
It looks like
And
it's
reduce
wearing,
what?
Reduce stuff.
It looks like it's wearing a ridiculous hat.
It does. It
Yeah.
does in fact look exactly like that.
It looks like it's wearing one of those touristy safari hats with the bug net that comes around it. That's what it kind of looks like to me. And it's got like
Yes.
tailgate for some reason. So here's the best
Tailgates
picture
are
I
awesome,
took. But on that car.
On any car.
Okay.
Hey man, like 90% of the back of my car is tailgate, so I'm good with that.
And then it has these little pod air conditioner things, which I think are kind of nice, but they're going to break immediately on any kind of force. You can just kind of tell. They don't look like they're that sturdy.
Victor, it's a concept car. There is
I know it's a
nothing about
concept
this.
car, but
This
they're
is-
marketing this like it's going to be a real car. It's not like the other manufacturers that are marketing concept cars like, yeah, it's a concept car. How much of this is going to end up in a production? Maybe 20%.
Apparently Nissan is releasing a Nismo Sentra.
Yeah, no. It just looks stupid. I can't imagine a Nismo Sentra.
I'd give it a
But why?
try. I mean,
Do you have a link to that? Because I didn't see that at the auto show at all.
if
I did, I would have taken a picture.
2 pages and scroll.
Got pictures of Jeepies. Got some Jeeps. The Jeep Rubicon looks pretty nice.
Rubicon.
Rubicon.
Oh yes. Apparently they're also trying to make one that's fully electric by like 2020 or some shit.
Yeah, no, that's
They're
definitely a
also
thing they're
putting
doing.
a Hellcat motor in one.
Yeah, but that's a good thing.
Yeah, asymmetry on the of the Nismo. Here we drag that into view. There you go. Zoom in
What's wrong
here.
here?
Apparently, it's asymmetric, but I can't really see it. Can you?
Tailpipe.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
that's
a
it.
tail. That's it.
Yeah.
They don't gotta have dual pipes on everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Most things don't have dual exhausts. I don't understand why
Exactly.
this is a thing.
Get over it, Jalopnik.
I'm actually half tempted to run a dual exhaust on the van, but then put a fucking servo-actuated butterfly so that I can switch it from like muffler to straight pipe.
I like it. So you're gonna have one tailpipe with a muffler, one without.
Yep.
I like it. That's
That
good.
will-
I like that.
That will sound like,
Like-
so much ass. It's just-
I remember when the van had a hole like rusted through the top of the muffler. It used to like backfire like a rally car whenever I did any engine braking, and it was so fucking loud. It actually sounded surprisingly good though.
This
I don't believe you.
I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I don't know.
Like, have you ever heard of straight pipe Nissan C20 revving?
You
It's
just
pretty
told
nice.
me
No.
about how the Corvettes don't look good, and there's no way they can look good.
The van doesn't look good either. The van's a rusted shit heap.
I think anything anybody does to the van would be categorically an improvement. That's my feeling on the subject, because I've seen
Yeah.
Churba has shared pictures of that van, and let me tell you, it's adorable, but it needs work.
Yeah, it does. I actually need to do quite a bit of body work at the moment now.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hey, I should open up the chat and see if there is chatting in the chat?
There is one person chatting.
Who's chatting? Is it J-Bance?
No.
Oh, who's chatting? Let me see here. Oh, okay.
It's that gent.
It's that gent. That gent. I don't know if you heard the announcement at the beginning, but you should check the Patreon because there's Patreon stuff. Anywho. Let's see. So the Jeep Rubicon. I think it looks great. I think it looks
I think it looks like a Wrangler. It's entirely
like
they have
a
it.
Wrangler.
It's not. I know it's a Wrangler. It's like the 911 joke. It looks like a 911 because they haven't changed it. It's the same.
It's a little bit rounder.
It's slightly rounder. It's maybe slightly better built, but you know, it's.
What the hell is that hole in the door for?
It's to let the water in and I presume out.
Okay.
Why is that hole in the door there? Because it looks cool.
I don't think it looks cool. It confused me. And I think it's actually, I'm not sure if that's reflection from the paint or if there's actually, if there's a piece of glass on or plexi on that hole. I can't really tell.
Why are you asking questions? It's got a flip down windshield. Who cares?
I guess.
There's nothing reasonable about that.
Yeah. We got the 124 the 124 Spider was there again.
Yawn.
This is sort of the theme.
No, fuck that. Go to the other one.
The Mitsubishi?
Yeah, that's rad. I'm down with that.
That's very old looking.
So it was built on the chassis of an Outlander plug-in hybrid. And they were just trying to make it. I mean, so the control panel on the inside is just a modern control panel, dashboard, I mean. And it looks kind of weird on those low-profile tires, but it's got a squeezy horn. And I tried to reach across the line to squeeze the squeezy horn, but a Mitsubishi representative came up to me post-haste and said, no, please don't touch. But yeah, I guess it's in, what does it say here? It's in honor of, there we go. It's in honor of the 100 years of Mitsubishi. So Chevy and Mitsubishi both have their 100-year anniversary this year. So, which is kind of great.
Yay.
Yay. Everybody at the... I heard multiple times people asking the talkers for the Mitsubishi booth, hey, you guys gonna come up with a new Lancer? No. And the universal response was, we don't know. We're just paid to be here. Which is really sad. I want another Lancer. There was this weirdo car
not
here.
Building another Lancer because they're poor.
Yeah. The Aria FXE. This car is, despite its very Lamborghini-esque looks, not very fast, even though it has a huge V8 engine in it.
It's a weird-looking car, isn't it? Something just looks off about it, doesn't it?
It kind of looks like it's trying to be a blend between the a Lamborghini and a Ford GT. Like it's got the Lamborghini face and a Ford GT, everything else. Let's see if I can get on the spec sheet here. We can take a squiz at it here. All-wheel drive, 0 to 63.1, 220.
It's got an LS V8.
Yep. It's purporting a 1,150 brake horsepower. And you have to apply to buy one. You can't buy one.
Yeah, well, you have to apply to know how much they cost.
Yeah. This is my big wonder here. I'm going to drag this over here. This was my big worry. Extensive use of 3D printed components.
I'm out.
Yeah. Yep.
No fucking way.
And they would not tell me what components they were.
Yeah, I'm
and there was,
definitely
and it
out.
wasn't just like some representative. It was like a technical engineer there, and he would not tell me. He's like, "I'm sorry, I cannot tell you what components are 3D printed. It's proprietary." I'm like, "Excuse you." That is
You can't
not
give
cool.
me an example of perhaps what maybe is 3D printed?
Is it like a cabling harness? Is it
325 rear tires? Holy shit.
Yeah. Yep. And they were very cagey about it all, and that's what the back of the car looks like. And the wheels, I cannot emphasize to you the camber of the wheels. Like, you can't, it's not really obvious in the picture here, but those wheels were cambered as fuck.
I can see it. It's definitely cambered.
Yeah. So they were really cagey about the whole thing, and I was not appreciative of that. So,
like, I can spot camber a mile away. One of the things that annoys the crap out of me is like the Subaru Outbacks. The rear tires have positive camber.
Ugh.
Really?
Yeah, I always see them driving down the road, and I'm looking at these tires, going, "That's not right."
Why would you put positive camber on an off-road car?
I suspect it is simply a byproduct of jacking up a Legacy, which is all an Outback is.
Yeah. Not a car, but something I found utterly adorable. This bike here with his little wooden trailer.
Nice.
That is, in fact, not a car. Moving on.
That is, in fact, not a... Although, between the two, it does have 4 wheels and a motor. So more of a car than the other one. The 3-wheeler at the beginning.
Nothing on there is 3D printed.
No, the Tesla booth. This is the only picture I took because nothing new was there, and they would not let you sit inside any of their cars, and they had shitty AstroTurf, and I was angry at them. So,
Tesla's entirely boring right now.
yes, they are. Yes, they are.
They're announcing new things to distract us from the fact that they can't build Model 3s.
They're announcing new things to finance the production of the things that they promised years ago.
Yep. By far the most interesting things I saw at the auto show were reproductions or just displays of old things, like this 1968 Subaru 360, which are
that's
adorable little cars. Yeah, they're adorable little cars. Subaru didn't really have anything else that was interesting, unfortunately. VW, I like the Bug Dune. It's pretty cool.
It's alright.
Yeah. New Mazda. The Mazda MX-5s are not new. They're the same Mazdas as before.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They have their folding middle roofs now.
Yeah, that was there last year. That was when it debuted, so it's not new.
Never mind. They got nothing.
Yeah, this VW concept, it's pretty nice.
I like that door that they're never going to put into production.
I know.
Yeah.
The sliding rear door? Yeah. Yep. It's about as awesome as the... They're trying to start this new ID line. So I guess ID is supposed to be like their electric vehicle line. But, so they had the ID Cruise. That was the red one. This is the ID Buzz, which is their microvan, which is their minibus, microbus concept thing.
I like it.
I really like it. I like it. Got the wood floor in there.
I would be interested in owning a microbus that I wouldn't die if crashed.
Right, exactly. Look at that wooden floor. That's so nice.
That's nice. They just need to complete step 2, which is build it.
Yes, that is the step 2. The other step that I'm wondering is they need to do something about this rotating gnome. I don't know what the deal is with this gnome, but they had like this little rotating spinny gnome thing, maglev. And I don't really get it.
It's Noam Chomsky.
That is something the designer...
He's sitting there to tell you namaste.
Hello, I'm the roaming gnome, no longer working for Expedia. Or is it Travelocity? And then, yeah, I don't know quite what to do. I mean, it was just like sort of, it was almost like creepily, because it's magnetically levitated and it was spinning the whole time. And I'm like, what? What is that about? Nobody had any clue.
Yeah,
Chevy,
I'm not sure I know, to be honest.
yeah. I mean, Electric Mini looks kind of fun from the front. Little weird, but also kind of fun. Beamer stuff. The Volvo booth was amazing. The Volvo booth was great. They had the best looking booth. Cars, boring. They're Volvos. But the booth...
I just realised.
Huh.
If I want to get rid of the van, I can buy a Datsun 510 and transfer out a bunch of engine parts. That has nothing to do with anything.
No, nothing at all.
It just popped into my head. Well,
yeah.
Time to get on the hunt for a Datsun 510.
Get on the hunt for a Datsun 510. So this is the Volvo VR experience I was telling you about. Everybody was using the HTC Vives. And gotta tell you, this is the first time I ever used an HTC Vive. You know, the LA Auto Show, not the Volvo booth. But they are very intuitive. So, have you guys used it?
Only a little bit. Not enough to form a serious opinion.
Yeah.
No, I can't really think of it.
Yeah. The Lexus had some stuff. They weren't really showing much other than these custom paint jobs. The Black Panther cars were cool looking. Yeah, LA Auto Show, I got a lot of pictures of things, but there wasn't really much going on, unfortunately. I mean, even Jalopnik last year, they had like a shit ton of news about it, but this year, nothing. They had like 5 articles about the whole thing.
Huh, that sucks.
Underwhelming. Yeah. So that's my... Oh, I do have to say this. The Volvos, the Volvo XC40, and I'm sad I didn't take a picture of it. The Volvo XC40 had a really great interior.
Huh.
Yeah. I did really appreciate it. And they had so many pockets and so much stuff. And I think they even had wireless charging for phones built in, which was a great touch. I don't know if that's really a standard feature these days, but it was pretty great. I realize that one of the most exciting cars I'm talking about is a Volvo, and that sort of says everything about the LA Auto Show this year.
Well,
Volvos are clutch, yo. That's still a term, right?
Yes.
I don't know.
I decided it is right now.
You decided it is right now. Okay. Good to know, Churbs. Churba has weighed in on the sitch. The situ. Vives are choice, says that gent. They're incredibly good. I don't know.
I believe.
Clutch. They're clutch. The Auto Show. What's this article, George? You sent a link to this article here.
Oh, this is just clusterfuckery.
Oh, good. I love this. Clusterfuckery is great. What is that? What is he doing?
They're rebuilding a carburetor, and his friend said, "Oh yeah, you can just undo these screws." Turns out they were peened on the other side, so they broke and stripped them out, and now they have to fix it.
No.
Yep.
Please don't peen your screws, automakers. That is not a nice thing to do.
Please don't.
They did it so the screws wouldn't fall out.
There are better ways to do that.
There's Loctite. You can
Not in
Loctite fails with
1977. There's not.
Oh, there's high heat Loctite though.
I have no idea how old Loctite is. I'm sure they had it in 77.
That's something like it. Yeah. So other car stuff. Where'd it go? Where'd that browser window go? Fuck. I lost the browser window somewhere along the line.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, there was the turboed Mazda 6, which was very nice inside, and very powerful. Oh, right, the thing that really caught my eye. I completely forgot because I kind of had to gloss over it. But let me go back to it. Kia has a new car that they're debuting this year. It's the Kia Stinger? Stinger. Yeah, I'm gonna say Stinger. Here we go. The Kia Stinger GT. 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
Default rear-wheel drive, but available with all-wheel drive. This is their challenge to the finally the GT86.
Yeah, but is it any good though?
I can't tell you how it
hold,
runs.
hold on. Back up the bus here.
Right.
How on earth is this a challenge to the GT86?
That's what they're calling it. This is what their rep called it. They're saying it's a challenge to the GT86.
It has back seats. They are out of their fucking mind.
Well, but they're saying that this is a small. They're saying that this is a compact, rear-wheel drive car, and they're saying that that's what they're targeting at. They're not targeting at the like sedans. They're targeting, even though it is a sedan, they're targeting at the GT86, and
it weighs 3,600 pounds. They have missed their mark.
Yeah, they're
by
fucking
a mile.
By a mile. But this is what they're saying: a rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
800 pounds, Victor.
I know.
800 pounds. They're just wrong.
I'm aware, and that's why I kind of balked, and I went and talked to someone, to a
That's
representative.
not even a good orange. That is a shit orange.
Yeah,
Fuck
I went
off
to talk
with your pastels.
Yeah, I went and talked. I stopped talking to the
I like
guy.
pastels.
Not
I
that
stopped
pastel.
talking to the guy, and started talking to one of the smarter representatives there. Apparently, let me pull up images. Started talking to this wonderful person, Christina, and she was like, "No. This is more of a challenge to like, Not what was she, did she say BMW? No, she said fuck. I think she said a Hyundai's or Lexus.
No, they're not a challenge to Hyundai because they are literally the same company. And also, I'm like, more ammo in my, this is so not a GT86. The wheelbase on a GT86 is like 101 inches. This is 114.
Yeah. So
this is just so...
What do you think this would be a challenge to? What do you think this is a challenge?
Sanity.
This is a challenge to BMW and blah blah blah. They think they want to play with the Europeans, and they're gonna get curb stomped.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get shit kicked out of them. There's no chance.
Really?
What's the price? How much do they cost?
Yeah, hold on. They were supposed to email me a press kit, but they haven't yet. So, but the convention's still going. Kia Stinger. There we go. Kia Stinger GT sports sedan. They're going for base at 31.9.
Yeah, but how much for this one?
I don't know. This one didn't have a price on it.
Oh wait, did you say Stinger GT?
Stinger GT. Yeah.
How
Stinger
much?
GT 31.9.
31.9 is... That is a lot of horsepower for 31.9.
Yeah, and it says it's got faster 0 to 60 than BMW 440i, Porsche Panamera, BMW 640i, Audi A5. Because it goes 0 to 60 in 4.7. So.
That is a nasty fast 0 to 60 time.
Right? All right. Yeah,
it's going to lose out in the traditional ways that these cars always lose out, and that is it's just not gonna be built like there is an air of solidity when you drive a European car.
Yeah. Although, so I can't speak of the drive because they weren't giving test drives for this.
Yeah.
But sitting in the car, it felt good. It felt nice and plush, and it felt like this is a good car.
Yeah.
To be.
I understand that, but how is it gonna feel in a year, in 2 years?
Well, I mean,
that's where, like, that's the things that the Europeans do very well. Is their cars? I mean, usually they fall apart in lots of other ways, but they feel well put together the whole time. Whereas Kias have a reputation of, they even recently they're looking better, but they still fall apart.
Yeah, well, I mean, but isn't part availability easier and cheaper with Asian cars?
Well, who cares if it falls apart? What's the point? Like, Japanese cars don't fall apart.
No, they
don't. They often don't feel well. I mean, lately they feel pretty good, but they used to not feel that well put together, but they were that well put together, and they held up. They continued to feel not that well put together for 10 or 20 years. Korean cars, not really that well. I mean, I don't know.
My
Maybe
Hyundai
it's
has held up over the past couple of years.
What?
My Hyundai. I have a Hyundai. In addition to my
Sable.
I do have a Sable. I also have a Hyundai.
I gotta say actually I gotta quickly look up what it's called in the States.
Let me say, you got too many boring cars, Victor.
Well,
well, not every car can be the mighty van, George.
No.
Yeah. But everyone should have, a fleet of interesting vehicles.
A fleet, you say?
A fleet, yes.
I don't know, man. I can't afford a fleet.
I can't afford a fleet. It just sort of happened.
I would be afraid to look at your car insurance bill.
Oh, okay.
It's like it's $850 every 6 months.
Have you ever driven a Hyundai i45, which is a Hyundai Sonata in the US market?
Yeah, I've driven a Sonata.
Like the new ones?
Yeah.
They are not good cars.
Like a couple of years ago I did, but...
Well, around anywhere from, about 2010 through to now, they are still not good cars, man.
Yeah. I drive an Elantra. So,
like, they've got about 170 horsepower, which is fine, except that it also makes them completely undrivable with the way that they've got the front end set up, unless you've got the traction control on. Like, it'll chatter the tires going around a roundabout at, like, an entirely reasonable speed. I've seen it chatter the wheels going around a pretty large roundabout at 30 clicks an hour, which is fucking practically walking.
So by chatter you mean, the tires will spin as you're going?
Yes, but only a little bit.
Don't put just like shit tires on them?
No, because the first thing I did when this car was purchased was took off the standard tires, resold them, and put decent tires on.
Yeah, we switched out the tires too. Wait, that was on the Nissan. Yeah, that was when we had the Nissan. No, these are the same tires. But I don't have that problem with the Elantra. Doesn't really do that.
Yeah, no, like they tried to make a good car, and it handles fine when the traction control is on. When the traction control's off, it's not great, man.
Oh man.
I just can't understand building a car and then giving people the option to turn the traction control off. And the traction control, like, you can feel it through the wheel, like when it starts to nanny you, and it starts to nanny you a lot.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine like making a car that is put together so badly that fucking traction control is an absolute necessity.
So I did get a chance to check out the electric,
6?
the electric off-road car, the Bollinger B1.
Oh yes, the Bollinger B1, the big square-looking motherfucker.
Exactly so.
Looks like it's made out of old tin cans.
Yeah, and you can see the screws on every part of it, which
Excellent.
on the one hand is kind of endearing, but on the other hand, the whole thing kind of looks like it was like a low poly model of a Jeep.
It looks like an old Discovery, not a Discovery, a Defender.
Yeah, it does. It's very reminiscent of the old C110 Defenders.
Yeah. The cool thing about it, and this was a feature that I've known about because Jalopnik and every car site put an article about it when they announced it, but it does have that whole big center channel thing going from one end to the other.
Yeah. That was cool.
Which is only really doable with a let me try to.
That's just a trunk. That's normal. Cars have that.
No. This goes from the front all the way to the back because it's built on an electric sort of. How did electric car manufacturer? How did Tesla describe it? A skateboard.
How did Tesla
platform.
Describe it? Tesla didn't describe it at all.
My Saab had that fucking channel too. Big deal.
From the front all the way to the back.
Oh, I see now. No.
Yes.
No, I had an engine in the front.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
What the fuck are you gonna do with that? Why does it have a tailgate in the front?
To be fair, you can do the same thing in my van because it's cab over.
Okay. Yeah, but 2x4s. You can do 2x4s going through front to back. Long pieces of wood.
I have traveled in the van with like literally fucking like 2x4-esque. I'm not sure if they were 2x4s or what the measurement was. It's irrelevant. Yeah. But I've had them like sitting up on the dash and then all the way back into the fucking like up to the back door.
But who hasn't?
People without a van, I'd suggest.
Yes. Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
With pickup trucks where I just hang it out the back tailgate because I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Just tie a red rag on it and call it a day.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. And then...
That makes it all legal.
Oh, yeah.
Makes it all legal?
A red rag covers a multitude of sins.
Not illegal, but all legal?
It's right up there with putting on your flashers to park anywhere.
Hey, it works for me.
And then I did get
no, it doesn't. My fucking hazards don't work. The switch is broken. Yeah, you can shove the switch around all you like. They don't turn on.
So I got a test ride in one of these things.
I've seen those. They're around here.
Yeah, they're called slingshots. They're put out by Polaris.
They're fucking stupid.
Yeah,
they are stupid.
They're like the Corvette. They look like a gaming mouse.
Exactly. They're entirely stupid, but they are hilarious fun. Like, it takes...
Oh, yeah. No, so here's the... For viewers who don't know, in the U.S. there are various safety regulations that govern what can and cannot be in a car. And cars, by law, are required to have things like...
wheels.
Seatbelts.
And
airbags. And stability control. And anti-lock brakes. These are all things you have to have on a car if you want to sell it in the United States now.
Right.
But... a motorcycle or a tricycle
Or
does
motorcycle
not,
class vehicle, shall we
a
say.
motorcycle classed vehicle does not have to comply to said regulations.
Right.
So
It's not a car.
basically,
Despite
there's
using car parts. And
despite looking entirely like the front half is definitely a car, and 3/4 of this is absolutely car until you get to the back. This is a motorcycle, and that makes it so they don't have to do crash tests or airbags or. I mean, if they really wanted, they didn't have to do seat belts, but it has seat belts because I think it would skeeve out their customers, to be brutally honest.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Not that,
does have a seatbelt. Has grab bars.
I mean,
It's
with an
made
open
of
top
grab
car
bars.
with no... An open top car with no windshield.
Oh,
I think I'd rather not wear a seatbelt than wear a seatbelt in that thing, because if you flip over, you're gonna lose your arms.
Okay, so they do have a package that they're putting out, and I think this is that what they're
Is
doing?
it just the same car but with arm guards?
That
looks like a shoe.
You're not wrong. But let me pull up this image here. What they're doing is basically, and this is so low res, but they do have options that their option packs they're making with a little, like a half windshield and gull wing doors. But let me tell you, these doors are made of the flimsiest plastic. Like, I went to close one and it started flexing just from me trying to close it.
That's rubbish.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yeah. No. So this is just sort of a.
This is an aftermarket full
worse.
enclosure system.
That's
this
even
is an aftermarket.
worse.
It's not put up by Slingshot. It's put up by.
Wait, we're gonna have a full enclosure system in a car without an HVAC system?
Yeah.
I don't think they've thought that through.
No, and in fact, when they were giving us the test ride, they're like, "Hey, do you have sunglasses? If you have your own sunglasses, go ahead and put them on. If not, we'll provide them for you." I'm like, you're giving me like a 30-second test run in this car around effectively an oval, and you're not even going all that fast. You're just doing skids on each of the ends of the oval.
The wind gets in your face real fucking quick. Stick your head out a car window sometime. Like fully out of the slipstream of the car. Stick your head out.
Yeah. Yeah, was just a ridiculous. It was a toy.
It's the toyiest toy. How much do they cost?
I went the slingshots cost, I think, somewhere in the woods, somewhere in the neck of the woods of 20.
Oh, fuck off.
I think I may be wrong. Don't quote me on that. I'm checking it now. Okay. Slingshot through motorcycle. 20.
30?
20
what? 20 for which one?
The Slingshot S.
20. What do we get for 20?
Oh,
it's got traction control,
they
ABS,
start
power assisted steering.
Oh my god, yeah, they start at 20. That's where the Slingshots start at. And then you can get them up to like 30, and then you can get up to 30 and 9. So,
170 horsepower.
Yeah.
This is probably entirely like reasonable, like, as a way to get around regulations that sort of prevent, like, they don't have these regulations in England, so they don't have problems building, like, that's why all the cool little kit cars are English.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't personally You know, this is a weekend. This is not a daily driver. It can't be. You'd have to be having some kind of midlife crisis to make this your daily driver.
What does the $30,000 one offer?
I think just more power. That's probably it.
Here's the track ready one.
Track ready.
Yeah.
That's a
170 horsepower. So what's the difference?
maybe bigger brakes, wider tire. I don't know.
I don't know.
They're all kind of stupid. There was a lot, I will tell you, there was a lot more interesting in here at the LA Auto Show in terms of video game technology than there was, because there was at least 4 different setups of video game things. Wait, no, hold on a second. There was one at the 1, 2, 3. Then Microsoft was there, so there's 4. And then there were 3 different ones in the main hall. So there was like 7 different video game setups in there. Oh wait, no, and then there were 2 full motion simulators. So we're talking about like 9 different video games you could play at the LA Auto Show. Yeah. This wasn't exciting. Sadly. Hopefully we'll get more interesting stuff at the next Tokyo Auto Salon, which is always fun. Actually, when is the next one? Tokyo Auto Show, Tokyo Auto Salon 2018. January. Perfect. We're gonna get more interesting stuff next month with the Tokyo Auto Salon. All right, so how long have we been going on? Ah, perfect. Just about an hour.
Yep.
All right, folks. That's about it. Do you guys? Oh, hey guys, what have you guys? What's been making you guys happy this week, guys?
Drawing a blank. Churba?
Churba.
Anything?
Gay marriage was legalized yesterday, so that's nice.
I think there was only 2 of your parliamentary representatives voted against it.
Only 2 voted against it, but there were 4 in the chambers. The other 2 did the cowardly thing and walked out so that later on they can still say, I didn't vote against same-sex marriage, so that they don't lose as many votes. Yeah, no, they did spend the entire day arguing against it, then they just ran and fucking hid when it was time to actually put a vote down on paper.
Cowards.
Because they're fucking cowards, yes. Oh, and one of them was Tony Abbott, the ex-Prime Minister who just won't leave because he's a fucking cockroach.
How can he not leave? Isn't he basically over? Isn't he done?
He's a joke. He's a complete fucking joke. He keeps trying, like, putting out little overtures that he's going to roll Turnbull, but his own party are just like, we don't want you anywhere near the Prime Ministership ever again. You are a nutcase.
You screwed it up.
Like,
Malcolm Turnbull gave a very nice speech.
He's tried more than once to, like, put out the feelers to challenge Malcolm Turnbull and possibly force a vote, and every single time he's just been voted down so hard.
Sad. Very sad. Well, there was a bunch of there was a bunch of small cars at the LA Auto Show, but nothing small enough to be interesting, sadly. And, I don't know what thing. George, you got nothing that's been making you happy this week?
Nah, kind of a flat week for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what's been making me happy? Me and Churba, the game of Doki Doki Literature Club we played this week. Holy shit. That's been
making
it was
you
pretty
happy?
spooky.
Yeah, no. Well, it was spooking us out a bit due to not only just the content and how the game was going, but the very apropos bits of static that was coming through the line at very appropriate times.
Yeah, it was super weird, man.
Yeah. I don't get spooked out very often. Like, and I said this during the stream, not even Amnesia: The Dark Descent got me spooked. But This spooked me, and I'm excited. Me and Churba both had to kind of step away for a while afterwards, so we wouldn't go and
Keep
ruin
playing the game independently of the stream.
Yeah, yeah. Which is very much easier for him to not do than it is for me because I'm the one playing it. But yeah.
Well, I do have the game. I could just play it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh cool.
I had the game
Yeah.
before you did.
Oh, that's right, because you told me to go get it.
Yeah.
But yes, Doki Doki Literature Club. Go back, watch it. We have a DVR. I think that episode was the most watched Victor plays since Undertale.
Quite possibly. We were getting a lot of new faces.
We were getting new faces. We were getting 94. We got 94 views on that. And yeah, which is good. And we got new subscribers. We got a bunch of new subscribers. That certainly makes me happy. So, yes, fun times to be had for all. Alrighty then, folks. Very low key episode this week. Check us out next week. Wait, what is next week? What do we got going on next week? Next week is the 15th. Yeah, we did this a day early this week. But cause tomorrow there's a lot going on. Next week is Yep. Next week we're gonna be doing Friday Night Party Line. And it's gonna be fun. So good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. I'm gonna go